Parece que estás a punto de perder. ¡Apártate de mi vista! You win. Sigue así y te acabarán matando.
Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikhan here, coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at Tekken 7 for the PlayStation 4. This title was sent to me by Bandai Namco so that I could give it a look and tell you guys my opinions on it. And you guys know that when it comes to fighting games, I'm a bit of a casual. I'm not going to be able to tell you the technicalities of it, like whether or not Eddie Gordo's combo is overpowered in Tekken 7, or if character A has more invincibility frames when he does blow B, something like that. That's not the kind of stuff that I am going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking more from a generalistic standpoint and from the viewpoint of someone who hasn't really gotten into a Tekken game pretty much since Tekken 3 back in the PlayStation 1. Yeah, that's pretty much one of the Tekkens that I've played the most. But when I was in Gamescom in 2016, I got to play a little bit of Tekken 7, and I actually liked what I saw. So I figured I'd check out the full release version to see how it held up. And to be completely honest, I enjoyed it quite a bit. So let's start with the visuals. So in terms of visuals, in my opinion, this game looks great. I'm not exactly sure if it's running at 60 FPS because unfortunately we don't really have any tools to analyze, at least I personally don't have any tools to analyze the exact frame rate at which a game is running on the PlayStation 4. However, if it's not running at 60 FPS, it is running damn near close enough. It runs pretty good, it looks pretty good, the animations look great, and one of the important things I feel to mention about Tekken is something that I've also felt back in Tekken 3 is that Tekken is always able to translate impact really, really well for some strange reason. I'm not saying it's like, oh, it's the best impact ever, but I'm saying I really like the way the impact of punches and kicks and stuff like that, the way that translates into Tekken, and Tekken 7 is no exception. There is a great sense of impact whenever you land a particularly powerful blow, both on the receiving end as well as on the delivering end. It's just very satisfying landing those blows, and that translates very well from a visual standpoint. Next, when it comes to sounds, I feel the sounds in Tekken 7 are also pretty damn good. Again, they do a good job of translating that impact feeling that I'm talking about. The soundtrack, also pretty decent in my opinion. I personally actually like it. It keeps the adrenaline going while never really taking the attention away from the fight, because you want something that keeps your adrenaline pumping, but you don't want a track that distracts you from what is happening in the stage. And in my opinion, the Tekken 7 soundtrack does just that. Now, when it comes to Tekken 7, one of the things that instantly stands out from any promotional material that you might have seen is the new story mode that this game has, which I actually can't show you guys all that much about it so that I don't spoil anything. The story mode in Tekken 7 covers some of the stuff that happened in previous games. So even if you've never experienced any of the Tekken stories or lore or any of that nature, you will still be able to understand the story and the motivations behind the characters. They even call back they even show some of the cinematics from some of the older titles as they are explaining the story that is happening in Tekken 7. So some of the more seasoned veterans even might get a little bit more value out of that, because they might remember, oh yeah, that's right, this thing happened when they show those cinematics. And you can clearly see when they're showing one of the older cinematics, because it's like the original older cinematics, like they haven't remastered that stuff, which is actually kind of neat in a way. I mean, in one way, it kind of stands out from, you know, the current visuals that you have in Tekken 7, but another way, it almost feels like paying homage to the previous titles, which is something that this game does a lot, both throughout the story as well as some of the stuff that you can unlock later down the line as well. Now, in terms of the story mode itself, personally, I enjoyed it quite a bit, although I do have to say, I was playing it on medium, and like I got to a point where I was just like, nah dude, the hell with this, I'm switching to easy, because like they're gonna have you fight with different characters, and maybe you haven't mastered all of the characters that they have you fight with, And that definitely happened to me. And then they put you in some situations in certain fights that really do demand you to have extensive knowledge of a character to know how you can, you know, kind of counter what other characters are doing to you, or maybe some other characters are regenerating health. There are some seriously challenging things happening in there, which just makes it, I guess, all the more satisfying if you're the kind of Tekken player that knows all these characters and is able to overcome all of these challenges. Is going to make it even more satisfying. Me, I'll be completely honest. I went into easy mode at one point where they had me fight this really, really tough character that I was just having a tough time, and I wanted to see the rest of the story. The difficulty does not affect the outcome of the story, so it's perfectly fine. If you just want to experience the story, you can go to easy mode. Even still, though, there are a couple of fights in there that even on easy mode, you might have a tough time. But ultimately, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I liked the cinematics that took place between the fights and stuff like that. The transition from cinematic into fight is not as smooth as I would have expected, because it does go from pre-rendered CG into in-game, and I wish they would have done more of it in-game so that it could be like a more seamless transition. Some of them do. I mean, the transitions are fine. I'm just saying that you will be able to tell, okay, this is cinematic, and now we're in game mode, which I kind of wish they blurred those lines a little bit more. But ultimately, in my opinion, it's still a pretty good experience. I had fun with story mode, and it's a nice way to kind of like get started with Tekken 7 before you then go on to try and, okay, I'm gonna master this character or that character. It's kind of like a way for you to just relax a little bit before you actually get deep into the game. It's not too long. I don't know I think it might have taken me like 3-4 hours, something like that, maybe less. I don't remember. I wasn't really paying that much attention as I was going through the story. I wasn't paying attention to how long it was. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Now, the story itself does not cover every single character. You will play as some characters, but not all of the roster. The roster, which I believe is 36 characters, unless there's something to unlock that I haven't unlocked yet, but I don't think so. So there are 36 characters in the roster, and I don't know how many you play throughout the story, but you definitely won't play all of them. But for the ones that you don't play, they then have their own little separate episodes when you're done with story mode, and you can play different one episode for each character, which is basically one fight, and it's got a little bit of a cinematic that kind of gives you a feel for what that character's motivations are. Some of them link a little bit to the story, others don't link to the story at all. Some of them are just comedic, but every one of those little cinematics is kind of meant to make you understand the personality of those characters, so that you get a little bit of their background and a little bit of, just a little bit of feel for each of the characters that the game has for you to play. Other things that you can do. So you can also customize characters, and the game has this system which involves fight money, which I think I've heard something similar for Street Fighter V, but I didn't play Street Fighter V. But fight money essentially allows you to unlock a bunch of items, but you can't unlock everything. And what are these items? These items are cosmetic things that you can then use to customize your characters in different ways. So you can have a character that looks completely different from the original model by changing their haircut. You can give them glasses, you can change their coat, you can put a friggin' sushi tray on their back if you want to. You can get them a shield, you can get them an axe. They're not going to be using those weapons, but they're going to be like attached to your character in some form or another. Even shotguns and machine guns, you can have those attached to your characters. You can change colors and stuff. You can do all kinds of customization of these characters to the point where they look completely different. As a matter of fact, as I was playing through one of the modes, which is Treasure Battle, as I was playing through Treasure Battle, I met a character that looked exactly like Rambo. Like, he had a knife in his hand, he had the green pants, he had no shirt, and then like a red bandana on his head. So yeah, it's cool that you get all this customization stuff. But the different modes that you can play, this is mostly single player because I haven't had a chance to play online just yet because the game hasn't officially come out, and I don't think there's a whole lot of people playing online right now. So So there's all these modes that you can do. You have arcade, you have the story mode that I've already mentioned. You also have treasure battle, and then you have versus mode where you can play against friends, and you have practice mode, obviously, so that you can practice your different moves with each character. Now, the online mode also has a tournament mode, which I'm not exactly sure how that works out, but it is there. As soon as the online comes up, I'm going to check that out and see what that's all about. But one of the weird things I thought was that arcade mode, and again, coming from someone who hasn't played Tekken since Tekken 3, I thought it was weird that arcade mode is essentially 5 battles and you're done. I thought it would be more than that. And it seems like the battles aren't always predetermined. I think like you get different enemies. Obviously, you get different enemies when you play in arcade mode. I was talking about you get different final bosses as well in arcade mode, so you don't always get the same characters that you fight. And all of these things that you do in single player, like arcade mode, treasure battle. I'm not sure if story. I don't think story mode does it though. They give you that fight money that you can then use to buy the cosmetic items to customize your character. Beyond cosmetic items, you're also able to buy videos from the different Tekken series, all the way from Tekken 7 itself to Tekken Tag Tournament 2, and all the way down to Tekken 1. You can buy those with fight money so that you can watch old videos of Tekken. I instantly started watching like some Tekken 3 videos for nostalgia purposes. It's, like I said, it feels kind of like a homage when it comes down to that kind of stuff. But beyond arcade mode, which I think most of us know what arcade mode is about, I guess the other mode that is kind of more relevant, and the mode that I spent the most time in beyond story mode, is treasure battle. So treasure battle has you facing off against multiple enemies. It is not survival style. It's basically you go one-on-one, you get full health every time that you start a fight. And the more enemies you kill, the more chances you have at getting loot, because basically every time you defeat an enemy you get a chest, which can be random. There's multiple qualities of chests, and depending on the quality of the chest, you're going to get a better customizable item, or maybe more fight money for customizing your character. And that's pretty much the mode that I'm playing the most. The interesting thing about treasure battle is that you get to see customized characters on there. I'm not sure if this pulls from some kind of from a multiplayer mode or something, because there were a lot of different characters with different customizations in treasure battle, and I'm hoping that's pulling from different players, even though I'm not entirely sure if that's what it's doing. Because I think it'd be cool if there was like a Rurikhan Miguel out there, because I've been playing Miguel mostly. I was looking at all the characters and I was like, oh, let's play the Spanish guy. He looks cool. And also that's the name of my son, so I figured, let's go with this. So it'd be cool if there was like a Rurikhan Miguel going out there and people would like fight him in treasure battle. I'm not sure if that is what they're doing, but it kind of seemed like it was. So that might be a thing, and that's fun. I think I went 30-something consecutive victories in treasure battle mode, but I did use a lot of this boot attack that Miguel has that is really, really powerful. Now, there is also a new thing when it comes to combats, which I haven't seen in Tekken before, which is the rage meter. And I believe that is a new mechanic. And essentially what that does is when you are taking quite a bit of beating, I'm not sure what percentage of health it is, but when your health is low to a certain point, it activates this rage thing. And then you have 3 options, which is the rage drive, the rage art, and what is it, finishing crunch? I don't know. It's like this special attack that you can do from rage. I know that the rage art is kind of like an attack that you can use to open up into a more complex combo, I think. Whereas the rage drive, I'm not entirely sure what that does. Again, I'm very casual when it comes to fighting games, so I'm not entirely sure what the rage drive does. But the other thing is the rage special attack. I like that a lot. That's basically a special attack that if it connects, you get like this really cool animation, like in the case of Miguel, which is the character I've been playing the most. What he does is he basically punches someone in the face, and then the camera goes into first-person perspective from the victim. which is something that I really like in games for some reason. Ever since I saw that in God of War 3 on the Poseidon fight, I like, oh man, this is such a cool way. But basically, you get to see Miguel just punch the crap out of the other fighter, and then hopefully he dies. If the other fighter doesn't die, then you're stuck with low health and no rage mechanic. So good luck with that. But yeah, overall, I think Tekken 7 is a pretty good game. It's one of those games that it is accessible if all you want to do is just casually play it, have some fun, try to master a character, that kind of thing, which is the way that I play these fighting games. But it is also extremely hard to master. Like, to get you guys an idea, the move list for my character is 118 moves long. Now we're talking just like there's a ton of stuff that you can do. Just like there are certain blows that are just like press forward and press forward and square. That's an attack. Press forward and triangle. That's an attack. But then you got those that do combos like, oh, it's going to be square, square, triangle, square, something like that. And each character, they have like a 10-button combo that you can do, which is like super complicated. I mean, probably some of you guys that do play a lot of fighting games are listening to this and like, man, you're just fucking casual. It's like, it's true. I am. But I still have a lot of fun with it, and I enjoyed it. And I think it's a pretty good game, in my opinion. The game also has a VR mode, which, in my opinion, unless this is just a placeholder for something that they plan on developing further, that VR mode has no business being there. Because it doesn't really do much. I don't even... It's like you can go into a practice mode in VR, I guess, if you want to. And that's pretty much it. There's also, you can also view a customized character in VR, which, again, it's like, the VR mode, I really don't understand the purpose of why it's there. It didn't need to be there. Maybe they're just experimenting with it to see if people enjoy it, but to be honest, I didn't think the VR mode needed to be there at all. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty fun. Thank you guys very much for watching. Let me know all your comments and feedback in the comment section below. Remember to subscribe, like if you really enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Parece que estás a punto de perder. ¡Apártate!
Great. Final round. Fight.
Yeah!